Hey everybody, Eric from Hit Subscribe here, and there's a bird going absolutely nuts outside, so hopefully you're getting that on this audio. That's exciting. I
Mm-hmm.
feel bad for the poor thing. I kind of wonder what's going on, but anyway, let's just power through that. What I'm going to talk about today is product marketing versus content marketing, and I know this isn't like the most scintillating of topics, but I actually think it boils down to like a pretty easy difference, and I feel like I have this kind of natural advantage to speak to it because I spent most of my career as a software engineer and just in the software world, and I didn't know too much about marketing. And then I've kind of backed my way into being the CEO of a marketing company, and it's kind of an interesting bit of perspective that's caused me to get a field education in it, kind of learning it on the fly in a specific niche. And so to me, product marketing versus content marketing is a pretty easy thing to understand. If you go and Google this, it'll get really confusing really fast, unless maybe you majored in marketing, but probably even then. But here's how I think of it. Content marketing and product marketing. There are kind of two flavors, if you will, if you create content for a commercial enterprise. One of those is, what does your audience want to hear about? What kind of content do they want to consume to learn how to do things, tutorials, or to look up definitions and do research or be entertained? So there's this kind of pull, like what sort of content will your audience voluntarily consume? And then there is the flavor of content that is, what do you want to tell them? And those two things can overlap, but they often don't. So generally speaking, you don't go out and look around on the internet and think like, gosh, what product could I learn about and then purchase? That's what companies want you to do, but it's just not how reality tends to work out. So there's this two-phase kind of content concept. So product marketing and content marketing both heavily involve content, but content marketing is producing the kind of content that your audience is looking for. Product marketing is kind of trying to sell them something. It's producing the kind of content that you want to tell them about. So that's the difference in a nutshell. And I want to talk a little bit about how and why this often comes up. And this is another one in the series where I wrote a blog post, and I am kind of talking through the blog post that I wrote. If I remember, which I don't think I have been, but if I remember, I'll put a link in the comments, or if we post this to YouTube, I'll put it in the description. So you can go read that blog post. I'm structuring this video a little bit differently so it flows better in video format, I hope. I don't know. I'm just kind of winging this. But yeah, so I didn't plan the part about the birds. So this often comes up because I'll be on a call, and our clients at Hit Subscribe, when we're talking with clients about helping them with their blogs, with content, running their blogs, one of the things that in particular technical founders will ask is, oh, I should turn off this fan. That's probably unpleasant audio. I'm kind of all over the place today. But one of the things they'll often ask when it comes to producing content is, so the authors will learn about our product, right? And I get into this weird situation then where I'm kind of obligated, if I'm true to what we're doing, to say, no, probably not. We don't usually ask our authors to learn about your product. And frankly, having them learn about the product and talk about it on your blog isn't a great idea. And that sort of catches people off guard and probably talks me out of a sale occasionally. But the fact of the matter is, if you think of what they're really asking about, it makes a lot of sense to them. Like, let's say you build a thing and you're trying to sell it. Now, when you built it, you've built it because you're pretty sure people need it, people want it, and people will be willing to pay for it. And then, especially in the technical world, there's this idea that if you just explain its value proposition and what it gets you in the world, that people will listen to that logically and then think, oh, right, of course, I will buy that now. So, for instance, I was watching this commercial the other day. There was, when I watch baseball games on MLB TV, one of the commercials, I think it's there, is like this browser plugin that you can go and install, and basically, I forget the name of it, but it'll find like savings codes. So if you're buying product X on some site and you have this browser plugin installed, it'll go out and like find a coupon code for you to use. So I think it's free. I don't really know, but I can't think of a better example of a product that if you just explain its value proposition, in theory, everybody would go and install, especially if it's free. And yet, I don't know what it's called, and I've never installed it. So I guess the theory doesn't work out. Now, it happens that I'm not a super price-sensitive e-commerce type buyer, So if I want, Fruit Loops, I don't really care if they're $2 or $3. I don't know what cereal costs, but I don't care too much about that. So one, against all reasoning, maybe I'm not a particularly good customer. But number two, you also have a trust deficit with this type of thing. So I don't know, ask yourself, like this thing I just explained to you, install this free plugin and get free money and savings. That kind of sounds like a scam. And so when something sounds like a scam, you have this trust deficit. So you have to build up trust with people, which is kind of where the content marketing, well, no, kind of about it. That's where the content marketing comes in. So back to what I was saying in my sales conversation with founders, they're thinking all I have to do is I've created this browser plugin and I just have to tell people like, hey, there's savings here. So their concept of the world is let's just write a series of things where we explain all the features and all the savings and all the great stuff, and we'll publish those to our blog. And what I'm saying to them is that's not a real good idea. If you want to model this to another world, what you're describing there is a commercial. You are talking about using your blog to publish a series of commercials for your product. And so your blog, generally in the world of content, you're going to want programming there. Like when you watch television, like if you watch Dancing with the Stars or whatever is on these, I'm a cord cutter, I don't know. But whatever you're watching, you don't tune in, I don't think, just to watch commercials. You tune in for your programming and then you kind of put up with commercials. So if you're talking about creating a blog that's just commercials, that's not going to do well. So you can talk all day about how great your product is, but what's drawing people to that blog? Nobody's out on the internet searching for how to give you money. Nobody's going to sign up for a blog and subscribe to every post to learn about how to give you money. That's not interesting to people. They don't know about you. So you need this mix. And so I wind up telling these folks in sales conversations, you don't want to do that. The blog is really about content that I mentioned at the very beginning, the sort of content that you're creating that your audience wants to read. You want to be entertaining them with memes or interesting pieces, or you want to be solving tactical problems for them through like organic search. So if you were, for instance, in this browser plugin world, if you were writing a bunch of posts about how to manage a budget or how to go out and find savings or, best money-saving browser plugins or something, now people are finding this. They're reading what you have to say that is offering them something without necessarily strings attached. You're just writing content that they like. If they see that enough and they start to associate with your brand, now they're potentially interested in listening to your pitch. So they think, hey, this company has given me some valuable advice. And even though this free money browser plugin thing kind of sounds like a scam, maybe I'll hear them out. So I wind up having this conversation where I'm often explaining kind of the difference between product marketing and content marketing. Now, don't get me wrong, you need both of these things. Because if you just did content marketing, that's what I did for years with my blog, deadtech.com. There was no real product behind it, so I built millions of page views and then didn't really sell anything. So if you're in business, that's not a great business model, is to do a lot of work and make no money. So content marketing without product or product marketing is just kind of a hobby. And then on the flip side, product marketing without content, without that trust building exercise is doable, but basically you're just running commercials. So why do that on your blog? Just run ads, which is how I found out full circle about that browser plugin thing in the first place. I don't think they're doing any content marketing, or at least I don't know about it. They just ran a commercial. So that's a thing you can do. But I would definitely recommend, especially if you're in it for the long haul, producing both flavors of content and engaging in both kinds of marketing, product marketing and content marketing. So in the end, think of it this way. The product marketing is maybe the thing you want to build first. It's almost like your business plan. Like, why would people give you money? Build that case, put it up on your site, have a features page or a case studies page, all that content where when people are interested, they can come read about why they should do business with you and if they're a good fit for your offering. So get that set up. And then you build content marketing out as the bridge to that, where you're just giving away value. And truly, I would build really good content, if you can, in a way that people are like, hey, I would pay for this, but you're giving it away for free. So you build that up as a way over the long haul to build trust and to draw people in so that when they're kind of primed and ready and willing to trust you, you can relate your message to them. So it goes all the way back to that. What are your readers or what is your audience interested in versus what do you want to tell them? So think of what you want to tell them, but then give them a bunch of stuff that they're interested in so that they're receptive to what you want to tell them. And in the end, that is content marketing versus product marketing, and kind of holistically how I would recommend approaching digital marketing in general. So hopefully that's useful or somewhat interesting to people. I found it kind of like enlightening when I figured all that out, because the definitions I kept reading in places were very like vague and hard to sort through. And then it kind of all hit like a ton of bricks. Like, hey, there's what you want to say to people, and there's what people want to hear. And sometimes those are the same, but not always. So maybe if you do both, you'll win yourself some customers. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully this has been somewhat enlightening, and I will catch you next time.